Well, hello there, Barb. What's new and exciting in your life?
Dave, it's lots of excitement. It's spring. We're right into it, and my home office practice has been an amazing experience for me this spring. So that's something we'll talk about a little bit in this episode. But yeah, life is good. Making discoveries about myself every day and allowing myself to step into some changes.
Uh, Before we get into the changes, I want to. You and I off air were talking a little bit about this, and I think it's such a critical point to always bring up. We've did it in a few other podcasts that we've been doing this month. Spring just revitalizes people. Let's talk just a second about how important it is to get out there, soak in that sun with sunscreen on, and let your body heal from the winter. Really.
Yeah, yeah, it is a time of rejuvenation. A lot of people find that it's a season of regrowth, new ideas that they can step into, but there is huge value in people just getting outside of their inside, airing out their houses, doing some organizing and cleaning mentally, emotionally, physically. To prepare for all of the new opportunities in that season, but the sunshine, that fresh air, it's critical, especially in the springtime because it's a more gentle season typically. I mean, we did have a few days we jumped right into summer, but we're back to normal spring weather here now. And but no, that connecting and grounding is what it does for us. I think that over the winter months, it's very, very easy to lose our connection with our living, breathing planet. And spring is a reminder, the hopefulness of the sounds of the birds, seeing things come up from the ground, getting your feet in the grass, your hands in the dirt, and definitely getting that sunshine on yourself because the role of vitamin D and the ability for our bodies to produce that is very limited in some areas of the world. So looking after that and prompting those responses in the body is really important for mental health, for our immune systems, for the structural part of our bones and things like that. That sunshine and vitamin D is critical, and that exchange of fresh air within the lungs and all of that is critical too, getting more active.
I know my good friend Paige from Advantage Athletic always reminds me in the spring when you do get outside because you go hard and you're you go way too hard, then you're sore for 2 days, just to ease into it and do a little stretching. And it's the same thing. You're mentally stretching out, both physically and mentally, when you get outside and you enjoy all the nice fresh air. Can't agree with you more. And I always find I eat better in the spring. I don't know why. Maybe you clean up your eating habits as well. Is that true, or is it just the way I think?
I would say that that is a very realistic portrayal of most people's lives. We often get very much into the root types of products during the winter months because we don't have access necessarily to all the same very fresh foods. So it's normal to transition into foods that are vibrant, that haven't been transported from, thousands of miles away, and there is more life and nutrition to those types of things. So that that is part of our natural rhythm, whether we understand it or not. But that innate wisdom that we need to get rid of the old and make room for the new. So that transition into cleaner eating habits is quite common. Some people, it's more vanity driven, perhaps, that they realize that things don't quite fit them the way that they did before the winter months. And,
Is it that obvious? I put on that much weight. Is it that obvious?
well, maybe it's just the headphones, Dave. I don't know.
Maybe the
Maybe,
hairline, the receding hairline.
I don't know. You might have just had so many compliments over the winter that it just,
Yeah,
the,
could be that for
yeah,
sure.
could be, and deserved as well. But yeah, so no, that transition absolutely is a very real thing that you're talking about. And it's the perfect time to do it because that natural daily detoxification of our systems is best done in our milder months, spring and fall. summer and winter are quite a challenge for our bodies that way. So I do encourage people to do some internal and external housekeeping with their bodies and with their nutrition. Check what's not serving you in your fridge and your pantry. Check the expiry dates. Do that cleaning, freshen the house. All of those things are part of our overall health.
I want to talk for a minute. You're sort of transitioning a bit. You're working alongside Dover Apothecary now. Can you explain that to me? I know that we're still doing the videos and you're still going to be rating your column in the hub, which is great. I appreciate that. And I know Mike does as well. But explain to me what's going on.
Okay, well, I think most people were aware that I had a home office, that I was balancing my time between both places. And I think that last May, when I had that eighth concussion, it kind of knocked a little bit of sense as far as priority into my head. And I was having a lot of lingering symptoms that some of the environments that are much busier and noisier and more overstimulating, it was having negative consequences on me. So I finally came to a decision that, okay, my happy place is my home office. I want to continue to collaborate with Mike and Sheena and the great family at the apothecary, but on a collaborative level. So event days, once that office space is available to me, planning event days that people can sign up by appointment for. And all of that will be posted in the apothecary. We'll post ahead in the articles whenever possible and make mention in the videos. But once that space becomes what it is intended to be, and even presentations out in the community, if people see me out and about, it's a collaborative between both, because we can serve a greater community that way. And, I respect the heck out of them and Mike's passion, and just am so honored that, he's still along with me on this journey. So it's a good thing.
That's really cool. Let's touch base on this month's article too a little bit because there's a couple lines in there that I really liked. Bodies don't lie, symptoms are clues. You talk about this. We don't want to give away too much on your article, but let's talk about that because I think sometimes you and I were talking about this before. Is I think sometimes you're misguided on the clues. Like I don't think we really understand the clues sometimes. But even if you recognize the clue of something is not right, then you need to address it. Is that where you're going with this?
I really am. I really am, because as individuals, it's normal to see everything that's out there to address minor symptoms that, and because they're so prevalent, media wise or on the shelves of all the places that you frequent, you might think that those symptoms are normal. And so I ask people to look at the frequency. There should be sort of a frequency marker. And if you can't correlate those symptoms with a specific trigger, then that should get the brain sort of turning and going, okay, well, why? We should always be asking why when it comes to our bodies, because those symptoms are, it's like somebody sending you a message, and it is your own personal body that's telling you, okay, something's out of balance. So it's an opportunity to explore why that's happening, not just take something that maybe you've Googled, maybe you've seen in a commercial, maybe you've talked to somebody else that's recommended it. But it's knowing whether there's a frequency pattern there. You don't want to suppress it.
Yeah,
And, with losing my sister to cancer 10 years ago, it was, very much that. Her symptomology, she was overall a brilliantly healthy person, an active person, beautiful person inside and out. And so her symptoms didn't necessarily set off any alarm bells for her family doctor initially. And then when she was initially tested, things were missed. So I just always encourage people to really listen to themselves, to tap into their innate wisdom, because you know more about your body than anybody will ever be able to tell you about yourself. So it's an opportunity to self explore and really tap in. And I'm not saying like be obsessively worried. I'm just saying be proactive. Like understand this is going on. There wasn't anything. And those are the things to write down and to journal and to have to take into your primary care provider. So follow up, push, be the squeaky wheel. Don't leave things under a rock somewhere when they keep turning up. So I guess that's
Well,
something that's near and dear to me.
and you recognize the simple things, like when you're tired and your body needs rest, when you're hungry, you need food. So why wouldn't you pick up on these other clues that maybe why is my left shoulder numb constantly, right? Like, why would you not,
Mhm,
oh, maybe I slept wrong. Sure, that could happen. But
mhm.
if it's a continuous thing, obviously there's more going on here. Yeah,
It,
I think we tend to just medicate instantly. Oh, I'll take a couple aspirin, away I go, right?
mhm.
And not look
And
at the bigger problem, because we don't, society, like you said earlier, is so busy
right.
and full of crap that we don't take the time to slow down and actually look at what's going on with our own
No,
bodies.
no. And I mean that brings us right back to I think what I love about spring is it reminds me that this is a time to revel in the moment, to investigate the moment instead of living for the moment. So I don't know if that makes sense to
Yeah.
everybody, but when that lets us tune in. And when all we're doing is forward thinking instead of stopping and appreciating a moment for what it is, whether it's good or bad,
Hmm.
but analyzing that and just exploring that, it just opens up a whole different facet of our lives. It's the learning space. And it's a beautiful place to be. So when we are so stressed and not breathing properly and not doing self-care things, it's because we've got so many plates and so much on each plate that we're juggling in life, and it's like give yourself permission to just put the plates down. I don't care if it's 5 minutes. I don't care if somebody takes 5 minutes that they've never taken before. Your body's still going to thank you for that. And that is the time when you ask yourself, literally, whether you say it out loud or you say it in your head, but you ask, is everything okay with me? Because your body knows, your cells know. And it's
Yeah.
okay for you to tell your body that you are okay. But you need to take those extra steps if you recognize that those symptoms are becoming recurrent or if they don't have any plausible reason to be there in the first place.
It's, to me, it's understanding the awareness in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Totally.
what, listen, just listen, right? Take the
Yep.
moment to listen is what you're saying.
Yep.
Um, how do people get a hold of you? Because now you're in between. You're at the apothecary a little bit, but you're more or less at the home office
Yep.
24/7. How do they get in touch with you? How do they get? How do they talk to Barb?
Okay, so I do have my phone goes to an answering machine if I am busy with clients. So the cell number is 519-410-3544. And the email is barb at healthywellandwise.ca. So those are both great options. And whether people call or text to the number that was there, that's terrific. I will be at the Mind, Body, Spirit Health Fair on May 6th, 2023. So I hope people can stop by and say hello. Events will be posted at the apothecary and they'll be notified of, anything that's upcoming. We'll probably have sign up sheets, that sort of thing as well. But
Where is that event? Sorry to interrupt.
that is at the Odd in
Okay,
Simcoe.
at the Ad and
Okay.
Simcoe folks.
Wonderful, wonderful event. It's free for people to attend, like the general public, and it's a really huge event and encompasses everything to do with mind, body, and spirit. So you'll see a lot of fabulous people there, get a lot of great information, and I will be, as I said, planning different events that people can sign up for different workshops, and that's all in the works. This is my organization stage and getting everything launched.
Can people? I mean, you gave out your number there. Can people just call to ask a question if they're not sure what they're looking at or how you can help them? Are you comfortable with that? If people just call you and say, "Hey, Barb, this is so and so. How can you help me?"
Yeah, that happens all the time,
Okay.
and I guess I've tried to capture the phrase "How can I help you?" Because people give away their power all the time, and I like my clients to take ownership. And so that reach out call is wonderful. We can do a 5 or 10 minute discovery call when it's something quick. As I said, if I'm busy and it's outside of office hours, I will get back to that person. But yes, I absolutely encourage people to make that call and decide whether a full nutritional consult is something they need out of that, or whether it's just kind of a one-off. I do carry supplements in my own home office as well. I have accounts with the different companies and things like that to make it convenient for my clients. But yeah, whether by email, text, or call, I'm here, folks. It's an
Okay.
honor.
Thanks for doing this today. It's great to catch up with you. Look forward to our chat next month. Enjoy the spring, Barb.
Thank you. You too, Dave.